Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a podcast all about wrestling. In this corner, an author and a black belt, Kibbles.
Kibbles? What kind of name is that?
Pookie the Wolf is the best.
I forgot my copies.
And in this corner, Pookie the Wolf.
Pookie the Wolf is one of the best.
Welcome to the Kibbles and Pookies Squared Circle.
And Xavier Woods.
And make them
Okay, well we are, it's officially started.
make them move, but not as well as Xavier Woods. Yeah. Or Gina Darling.
Welcome to the, to Pookie and Kibbles Squared Circle.
I feel like we should have did that
Ding,
echo thing
ding.
we did in the beginning. Welcome.
Oh, okay,
We
switch,
haven't.
hold on.
No. We haven't.
Oh, too
We
late.
have our own introduction. It's fine.
Ding,
it's
ding.
it's done completely ass backwards to how I wanted it done, but we did it.
Well, there's many, there have been many goings-ons since we
So,
last got together
If
to
you
talk.
the
Rolling
episode
over my
that we
cord.
just put out was
Rolling over my cord.
the episode we just put out, the Dead Man one. I loved it, but it was a couple weeks ago, a lot of weeks ago. So I was trying to catch up with my other podcasts I do, in my opinion, and try to catch up with other stuff. But then we're back, and I'm really excited because I haven't talked to Kibbles about wrestling in an extent of an hour long.
Yeah, so let me tell you about my opinion on,
Okay, yeah.
see what I did there?
Yeah. Because of my other podcast.
Long story short, because I won't get into the crazy details of how it ended up happening, I found a third-party ticket reseller and purchased us some front row tickets.
Wait. I don't want to do it too loud.
Oh.
We are going to AEW April 27th.
He says really loud into the microphone. I have to sing
April
it.
27th. For AEW Dynamite on TBS. We're going to be on TV.
Oh, maybe.
What do you mean maybe? We're going to be on TV. You said we were in the first row.
Yeah, but we're our camera side.
Sorry. Let me.
There we go.
We're on.
We're on the side where the hard cam is behind us.
No, we'll still be seen.
More than likely, someone will go out of
We
the ring
will-
at some point and we'll be seen.
We will see. I will be able to spit on Adam Cole, which is probably the second time in my life where I'm able to spit on Adam Cole.
When was the first time?
CZW.
Oh,
We were close enough to spit on
point,
him.
Good point. Well, I started going through NXT in my head. I was like, when did Darren go to an NXT
Now
show?
he's worth a damn. No, I'm kidding. He was worth a damn before. Dude, I find it so weird, especially with AEW now, that like we have been in the same room as Maya Yim, Adam Cole, all these fucking people who are big now, but back then were like they've been on TV now,
Yeah.
and now it's just like, you know, it's just,
Yep.
it's just like if we went, we go, yeah, I met this guy from Canada named Donovan or something. He says he's gonna try a new gimmick. He's gonna put face paint on and be like a weird guy. I don't know. And then like later on, you go, oh, that's Danhausen.
Yeah.
Funny.
Probably the biggest name that we used to watch was Moxley.
Yeah, Moxley was another one. I couldn't
Moxley's
think of Moxley. But yeah.
Easiest. I mean, I've seen some other ones like I went to we never took you. We only went to like one or two, but like I've gone
like
to
my
like
father.
two.
We didn't
sorry.
take you. No. We didn't take you.
By-
we went by ourselves. It was a date night.
By we, I mean me and Dalton.
Yeah.
We went to two ROH shows.
Oh, what?
And it was like he got the tickets like last minute. There was only two of them.
Mhm.
Like it wasn't like we.
You don't need
excluded
to
you.
make excuses.
Um,
It's fine.
Yeah. The one time I actually ended up, he contacted me the day of. His dad was like really sick, and there was like no way his dad was gonna be able to drive him. And he was like, "Is there any way you would want to go?" Like it was legit like 2 hours before we'd had to leave.
Oh wow.
But through that, like I've seen Seth Rollins before he got signed.
He's gonna flex on everybody right now.
Yeah, Chris Hero before he got signed.
shit.
Cesaro before he got signed.
Oh shit. The Swiss Superman.
He's a Swiss Superman.
That's great.
Anyway,
so yeah, the fact that we're gonna go to AEW. That's what we were talking about, right? We're
Mhm.
going to AEW. April. There's so much stuff that I'm gonna be doing with you in April. We're going to the Fan Expo. It's so weird to call it that now.
yeah, it used to be. It's the one that used to be Wizard World, right? I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. But that's not what we're gonna talk about. We're not gonna talk
We're
about
not talking about that.
toy stuff. We're talking about our wrestling stuff, unless it's a wrestling toy thing.
I see what you did there.
Excuse me.
So we're going to AEW.
That's blowing my mind. I'm sorry. But anyway, so as of late, if you're watching us now, Rampage has just had Swerve Strickland versus Ricky Starks for the FTW title. Don't know why they even put it on the line if they're not going to have it change hands. Just seems like something that's going to just
Wait.
stick with Ricky.
Wait,
forever.
does that mean anytime the title doesn't change hands, your opinion is why'd they put it on the line if it wasn't going to
No,
change hands?
it's the fact that these had it for forever, and it almost seems like, oh, this might be the time where they, and it's just like false hope.
Yeah, I think because they put it on the line, I was like, oh, Ricky's going to win. Because I don't think it makes sense to have someone else have the
Yeah.
champion, whatever. It's also weird that they beat Swerve
But they
in his
did.
second match.
They did a funny spot where they had a banner out. Don't know why they had a banner out,
Mm-hmm.
but they had an entourage for Ricky Starks. I don't know if you saw it, but Ricky Starks had a banner at the bottom of the ramp.
Mm-hmm.
And you knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen, but they have a guy behind it who's supposed to bust out. And then you see two people, and I'm like, well, obviously Keith Lee is throwing a guy through that thing. And of course, when you know it, Keith Lee threw the guy through and then beat the shit out of the other two guys. And then Powerhouse Hobbs came up, and they started fighting.
We
And
love
then
Keith Lee.
It just ended up one big fight. Just like one of those, like, they ended the show on them still fighting and the refs trying to keep them away from each other. Powerhouse Hobbs and Keith Lee, and then Strickland and Starks fighting each other. And it was just like a constant just punching each other, and then the refs got them away, and then they just got back together again and started punching each other.
That means there's only one thing left to do.
A tag team match.
Playa. Holla, holla.
Why are you doing Theodore alone?
Because he was always like a tag team
Holla,
match,
holla.
playa.
Holla, holla, playa.
You ever see all the memes and all this stuff where he was always like, you know, are you in a tag team? Should there be a tag team match? Tag team match, playa.
No,
And
no,
are there
I've
more
never-
people in the ring? Or is it one guy in the ring? Is the Undertaker currently around? One-on-one with the Undertaker. If Undertaker's not around, it was Randy Orton.
Oh, okay.
There's like a little chart that
I didn't know that. It's a bit of a niche.
even WWE's made fun of it.
Oh.
They had him on like one of those like legend shows or whatever. He came out and was like, "Who's gonna be a tag team match, playa?"
Did you see my meme I made? It did really well.
Did it do well?
Yeah.
Good.
I put it up on Reddit, and they loved it. It was the basic for people who can't see it, of course, because they're listening. But it was Laura from Logan as a child, the girl version of Wolverine, and then it was like, do you remember this girl? And then this is her now, and it was just a picture of Thunder Rosa in her Wolverine outfit, and then goes, "You feel old yet?"
X-23.
I was like, I legitimately thought someone already did it.
I'd be surprised if somebody didn't.
They didn't, and everyone loved it.
Oh, you were the
Well.
first.
It did well.
Number one meme creator.
I feel like you're doing another thing.
SmackDown number one announcer.
Oh, can we? You know what? Let's talk about that because we're talking about shows. I have watched now an hour of Raw and an hour of SmackDown.
Oh, you poor thing.
Yes, it's been garbage, dude. Friday night, it was the worst. It almost felt like a tag team match, but it was a fatal 4-way between Shayna, Sasha Banks, Vega, and who was the other one? Ripley.
Okay, so one person from each team.
Yes, that was the whole point, and they showed the other people were there and everything.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Problem is that all the spots were literally in the ring, and it was like a tag team match where it was like, oh, you're done that spot, roll out of the ring, have the next group come in. I kid you not, that was the whole match.
Hmm.
Someone came in, Ripley Rhea Ripley tried to do her finisher move, then someone came in and kicked her or something, and they roll out again. Then someone else is doing something. And I'm like, this is a fatal 4-way, not a fucking what's it called? Like a 6-pack challenge. It wasn't like only the 2 people were able to do something in the ring at all times. It was
Interesting.
really like I was like, what are they doing? Because it's like there was only 2 people in the ring at the same time. I'm like, this is a fatal 4-way, right? Did someone get taken out? I don't know about it. Everyone was still in the ring because I was at my sister's house taking care of the dog.
Woof woof.
So I was taking care of him, and it was like kind of in and out. And I was like, what happened to Rhea Ripley? And then I was like, oh, she jumped back in the ring, does something, leaves the ring again. I'm like, the fuck is happening? But then the main event, there wasn't a main event, sorry. It was just the whole Roman Reigns came out, threatened Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, of course, was in the building. And
Lesnar was like, I'm here. And Roman was like, I got to get away. And then he was like, I'm going to run into your car with a forklift.
it was such shit, dude.
That was a total Austin move.
He didn't. No, he used a fucking. So that way it was relatable to kids. He used a pickaxe from Fortnite or Minecraft. So that way he damaged his Suburban. Yeah.
But he didn't.
Kibbles is shaking his head.
Didn't he?
Like, okay.
Wait, didn't he also run into the car with a forklift?
Not last night. Not that I saw.
Oh, last night. I'm sorry. That was.
Or not last night.
That
but
was
Friday night. This is Sunday. It's Sunday now.
Yeah. Sorry.
Friday night.
I'm thinking that was last week.
So I also watched the Monday night where Seth Rollins tried to take away Kevin Owens' moment.
Mm-hmm.
That took a whole hour for the match to begin. I'm like, Jesus Christ. They literally, like, even you can see the clip of Kevin Owens where he's like, why are they showing this? They just showed this. It was like something where like they were explaining that night that he was saying something to him, and you could see him in the ring. Someone was recording him going, "Why are they showing this? This just happened." And it was like, it's like, yes. Why are they showing this? This just happened.
Yeah, that was always a problem with when they swapped to the 3 hours. There was like, I remember when they swapped to the 3 hours, it felt like there was an obscene amount of like, remember this happened earlier tonight?
Well, okay, so the synopsis I got from the 2 shows now is that they think people are dumb and have a short attention span because
We do.
they can't focus on 2 people. They can't focus on 4 people at a time in the four woman match, and also that they have to explain stuff that just happened.
Yeah. I would venture to say our attention spans suck nowadays.
Not that bad though.
Not that bad, but
to watch a
comparatively
program.
speaking. I would venture to say it probably has something to do with the viewing numbers and other things that were on that
Don't you?
that were on that night. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if you go back and you find that they were replaying that stuff because 10 minutes beforehand the NCAA basketball game ended. So now there's the potential of more viewers
Probably, yeah.
jumping over.
Well,
I mean, I'm not saying that's how they should run it, but I'm saying that there's probably a logistical reason why they were doing that.
Do you think that as a company that has something that you want people to be a fan of, maybe it's me, maybe it's because I'm going to sit down and watch, when I watch AEW, I'm watching till the end.
Mm-hmm.
I might not be able to hear all of it if I take my headphones off and do something else or talk to somebody while I'm on Xbox or whatever, but I'm still watching it. Why do you think that you need to, like, it's almost like they're okay being the casual wrestling choice. You know? They're like, yeah, we don't expect people to last that long.
Yeah. I think they've been that way for a long time. I think they are operating that way now. They're okay with being the casual wrestling fan audience. I think that there's a lot of money in being the casual wrestling fan audience.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like, as much as I love AEW, unless there's some type of huge wrestling boom with them that somehow they do something that gets a lot of casual fans invested, I don't feel like they're ever gonna have, like, yes, their numbers could grow and they could have, like 1.5 million people watching every week or whatever, but like I don't think they'll ever reach like 3 million people watching every week, for example, because a lot of the things they do are not for the casual wrestling audience.
Mm-hmm.
They're for more of a hardcore base. So, like, in doing that, I'm not saying it's the wrong thing to do. You know, they're kind of pigeonholing themselves a little bit, and it will turn it'll turn casual wrestling viewers off, or people that'll just turn it on randomly week to week.
Which did I say? Fuck them.
I'm okay with, yeah. I mean, there's, in terms of
in
terms of plans, neither one of them are doing. I don't agree with certain things that are being done, but like in terms of plans, like they can go after the casual audience.
The plan would be that if you were, it's like almost like a concept of, we're going to get people that last a certain amount of time for WWE, but eventually, hopefully, they'll see that they really do love wrestling, and then move on to the hardcore stuff, because that's AEW is more hardcore, legitimate wrestling, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's also why you'll find that AEW shows will sometimes flow a little bit more, where if you look at Raw and SmackDown, they will headline their hours with stuff. So they'll have something big that starts off right at the 8 o'clock hour. And then, like, your next big thing, they'll be advertising for the 9 o'clock hour. Mm-hmm. And then the next big thing is for the 10 o'clock hour. So then as people finish watching other shows and they're channel surfing, they hopefully will stop, or they finish watching another show that they wanted to watch more than Raw, and then they flip over to Raw because that other show is done.
Yeah. Well, because, like, even as a kid, I can remember doing that with Raw, where we're like, I'm watching this, but I'm also watching this, and I'd cut in between Raw and whatever else.
Correct. Which is why you'll have a bigger, usually an advertised bigger segment at 9 o'clock at the start of the 9 o'clock hour, and then the start of the 10 o'clock hour.
The few things that I really noticed with WWE. By the way, I feel sorry for anybody who is a grown person who thinks that product is good, as far as wrestling. Maybe a good show. Maybe if they like one person, I'd understand that. But to think that the whole product as a whole is good, I just don't. I mean, even AEW is not good as a whole, but it's still better wrestling than I've seen in a while.
Yeah. Yeah. What I've found over the last, since AEW showed up, what I've really found over the last 2-3 years is that I define the wrestling shows in terms of my enjoyment and entertainment in watching it. So I kind of find that I don't, the weekly Raw and SmackDown and NXT programs, they could have good episodes from time to time, and they can have incredible matches and segments on shows. But what I've kind of found more often is that I don't enjoy watching those shows from start to finish. But when I'm watching AEW, I find that I enjoy watching that show from start to finish. That doesn't mean I like everything that happens, or that the product is perfect or anything. But I have more enjoyment watching AEW.
It's sad that I now know that, like, Michael Cole and Pat McAfee are on SmackDown because of Fox. Like, that's the main reason. But
yeah.
The gem of Corey Graves, I love. Like, Corey Graves is an absolute gem that I'm like, and this is the thing that kind of fucked with my head, where I was like, I thought Pat McAfee was on either both shows or on Raw or whatever, and then I was like, oh, that guy's pretty good. Turns out it was Corey Graves that was talking this whole time. I'm like, oh, that's Corey Graves? And then I watched SmackDown and was like, that's Pat McAfee? Fuck both of them. Michael Cole and Pat McAfee can go fuck off. They are terrible. As far as feeling anything, like, there was one point in the match for the Fatal 4-Way, Pat McAfee made some sports reference. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, dude. I had no fucking clue. And maybe that's just me. But I'm like, as a hardcore wrestling fan, I have no fucking clue what you're talking about. I'm getting heated. You can hear me getting heated. Pat McAfee, I know you think that, a lot of people I hear it from, that just Austin Theory is a good wrestler. Could give a fuck about that match. Could care less about that goddamn match.
Yeah, I don't really care about that match, but
You want to know what he did on Friday? He came over, smacked the headset off Pat, and then chased him back to Vince's locker room or to his office,
oh.
and then hid into the office. And then Pat McAfee just banging on the door, and then that was the end of the segment. I'm like, that was it. He just smacked his headset off and then ran like a little bitch.
I laughed at the crotch chop thing that Pat McAfee did. There's like a gif of it, where he's outside the ring with Austin Theory, and he points at him. And he's like, "You suck it, suck it, suck it, suck it." And but like it's so bad that like it's funny.
I don't find anything. I mean, even if he's a good wrestler, I don't find anything charismatic about him. He could be a good wrestler, but as far as his
Pat McAfee or Austin Theory?
Pat McAfee,
Okay.
there's nothing that makes me want to hear him talk.
Yeah. I found him to be funny in a few of the cases that I've listened to him, which is pretty much only pay-per-views, and then at that point I'm also watching with other people, so I'm not actively listening to him the entire match.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I can accurately depict whether I like him as a commentator or not. He has said some funny shit though, in a few of the things that I've heard.
The other thing I thought was weird about Friday was the weird. There's a weird thing going on with Paul Heyman, where it almost seems very weird kink stuff, calling Roman Reigns his tribal chief, my tribal chief. It's really weird.
He is the tribal chief.
No, but he calls him my tribal. I don't know my tribal chief. That's weird.
Oh, okay.
That's strange to me. That seems really strange.
Just get ready,
For what?
because you know someone's gonna come for the head of the table.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
If you smell.
I'm not even that excited for that.
Oh.
Even if The Rock comes back and fights Roman Reigns, I could care less.
Oh,
Yeah, it's bad.
that's crazy.
Yeah, like Kevin Owens and Steve Austin generally got excited, and I was like, "Oh, there's not a match. All right, never mind." I like Kevin Owens. I think he's a very good.
There's some debate about on the internet about whether there'll be a match or not. Like some people are thinking like he'll do the Kevin Owens show, he'll insult Austin a bunch, and then Austin will be like, you know, kind of like get this shit out of the ring, ring the bell, and they'll do like a little like 5-6 minute match. Either that or beat him up a little bit, and it seems like a lot of people are thinking that even if it's he just beats him up after the segment, that it'll be more than just like he does a stunner and that's the end of it. People are thinking like he'll do, you know, a couple other things.
And the thing for me that is the problem is that when it comes to Kevin Owens, he is a good, like, the way I see him is he's a good indie type wrestler where he can go for a long while and make a fun match out of a 30 minutes or whatever. Stone Cold doesn't seem like he's interested in doing a full-on match. So if he's doing a small 5-minute, 10-minute match, it's not going to be as fun with someone like Kevin Owens.
I don't even know if he could physically do a full-on 30-minute match. I don't think Austin could physically do that at his age with his condition.
Yeah.
I don't know that, you know what I mean? I think that's part of the reason why.
Which it was like, if it was a I'm going to call it a WWE match, real short one, and it makes no sense half the time, then yeah, Austin could do something. But if it's like a Kevin Owens, what Kevin Owens would be good at, I still am on the Corey Graves and Kevin Owens both need to get the fuck out of there. I think. I mean, not so much Corey because he's just an announcer, but Kevin Owens needs to get the fuck out of there.
Well, people were wondering if Kevin Owens was a few months ago, and then he
January, right?
Yeah, then he signed a new contract, 3-year deal. So, I mean, it's understandable. You gotta do what's best for your family.
Maybe he thinks that I can get as long as a deal as I can, and then if I get fired, then I guess I'm out anyway. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he money wise he probably would make more being in WWE. That's
Yeah, no, I
probably
get
part
that.
of his part of his choice.
We talked way too much about WWE than I'd want, but those are the things that I noticed from these two shows. Do you have anything else to add before we go to AEW?
No.
Well, AEW was, I don't know. It's the Hardy's things. The Hardy thing is great, but I'm like,
That should have swapped.
what do you mean?
The 8-man tag should have been the main event this week, and the Jericho appreciation thing should have been
Yeah,
the second match.
yeah, I agree.
It was a really weird choice by them, in my opinion.
Well, I'm seeing
Like when they so here's what I thought was gonna happen. They announced when they started the show, they announced that the Jericho Appreciation Society tag match was gonna be the main event, and I was like, that's odd that would be the main event over the Tornado 8-man tag match because it has Sting and the Hardys. So I was kind of like, okay, that's weird. And then they did the backstage promo where they were like, oh, check behind these curtains. I bet you like Eddie Kingston and Santana and Ortiz aren't there. And I was like, oh. And in my head, I went, that's why they're the main event because they're going to win. And then Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz are going to come out and jump them. And so like you'll go off the air with, Eddie and them being like, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But then that didn't happen. That was weird. And I was like, oh, I guess this is the end of the show.
That's all you had to say. You're like, and then it didn't happen, and that's
happened.
weird.
And I was like, okay, I guess this is the end. I mean, I totally get the like not blowing that off and having them come back right away. Like give it, 2 or 3 weeks or whatever, so you can have the tag match at Double or Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like the match ended, they didn't come out, the show went off the air, and I remember being like, why was that the main event?
Yeah. No, I didn't really think about that. Maybe because again, this Wednesday I wasn't able to really kind of pay full attention of AEW as much as I wanted to. I saw the some of the stuff that they did in the 8-man, and I saw some of I pretty much saw bits and pieces of each matches. And it was like, I didn't even really think about that. That's a good point to have them do that instead. But I'm saying more and more, it's like, hey, if you see John Silver and Alex Reynolds in a match, it probably means they're going to lose to boost up whoever they're fighting, because they have been, and even John Silver said it. Not like he's like has a problem with it. He's like, yeah, he's like wherever we're gonna get beat up or whatever. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
they're either way, they're a good tag team. It's just they're not being. That's the thing. Like, people get frustrated with. They're like, oh, they keep losing. I'm like, yeah, but like you have to realize that they'll go to whatever. You all right?
yeah, I'm just looking at who caller ID's popping up.
They'll go to Dark. Same like so example, Nyla Rose, okay? She's now trying to fight Thunder Rosa. Nyla Rose has been on Dark winning matches. It's just like it's the same with John Silver and Alex Reynolds. They've been just winning matches on Dark, and if they go on Dynamite and fight Jericho or something, it's like obviously they're going to be a setup for some kind of, so you can't really get mad at that too much.
Yeah, there's certain. Here's my thing, and I don't want it to.
Well, hold on. I think a lot
Go
of the
ahead.
times it's people regardless of if they're winning or not, they like being there. Like John Silver, I watched an interview with him in Thunder Rosa. He just seems that he enjoys being part of this group of people,
Mm-hmm.
and that's great. He's a meme. He's he's enjoyable to watch. I like, that's why I was like, a lot of the people I like watching. You don't see Ruby Soho too much on Dynamite that much, but when she's on anything, I watch her because she's enjoyable to watch. It's not like I need to buy all their merch. It's just the fact of like I enjoy, like CM Punk is the defining thing of like I have to watch that match if he's in the match, Which again, I barely got to see the match he had, which was really good when I watched the parts of it. But it's kind of frustrating to try to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, they have a unique problem of kind of having too many talents.
I guess.
And they have people that are more on Dynamite. There are people that are more Rampage. There's people that are more dark.
Well, it's, like the stuff you see from them, you can tell what's going to happen in most of the matches because of the fact of how they do things.
Yeah.
Which isn't
Well,
the problem.
so-
I'm not worried about who wins. I'm enjoying the matches in general. Like when I see someone show up, and it's just like, oh, like, so Beach Break, perfect
Mhm.
example. Adam Cole versus Orange Cassidy, lights out match. I'm like, that's gonna be awesome. I don't care who wins, doesn't matter. It's gonna be fun regardless. Or like the 8-man tags. You're like, don't care who wins, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be some pandemonium. Someone's gonna swanton bomb off of something high.
Yeah, so there so kind of here's what I was poking at with
Johnny
with
Hungy.
Silver, with Silver and Reynolds. I don't they're they're like fun, but like nothing and it's I mean, part of it is based on looks, but also part of it's not. Like they're fun. It's cool that they're a part of the Dark Order. They play off the Dark Order stuff really well, but like nothing about them screams champion
Oh yeah.
or super entertaining or someone you could put the tag team division on like their backs and
No, I get that.
so I think that their
So you're saying
role
you hate
is
the Dark Order.
yes. No. I think their role is to kind of just be those guys that are there to propel people upwards. Maybe at some point they do some type of redemption arc story
Well,
where they finally win the tag
They're-
titles, but
they're
like I
buffing their
don't.
stats. Like they're the top guys on
They
Dark
do that-
and Elevation.
Well, yeah, they do that with a lot of people.
But it's the fact that
Like Nyla Rose.
yeah,
They're like, go to Dark, get constant wins,
She's
so
been
that
on
way
there
we can
constantly.
throw you into the title picture, and it'll make sense because you have all these wins. One thing that I think AEW does not do a good job of is making it clear to us who is in the top, why they're in the top, why they're getting the championship match. Like Nyla Rose, blasted Thunder Rosa, and the commentary was like, she's, she should be the number one contender because she's number one in the rankings. And I was like, and me being not a casual wrestling fan, but like not really paying attention to Dark all that much.
Mhm.
Like even if I'm watching, I'm usually not paying attention to the wins losses records
yeah.
of people, which is something that AEW is like playing into, and it's kind of like, no, you should be like on TV telling me about how Nyla Rose is ranking up all these wins. There should be this video package or something about how Nyla Rose is racking up all these wins on Dark and she's ready to challenge whoever's next. Like I, as a viewer, I should know, like, or like take 5 minutes to, take 2-3 minutes every Dynamite. Tell me what the top 5 rankings are.
They're
And be
not-
like, because they're winning whatever. Like they're just
There's
like, oh,
not-
by the way, when they come out, they're like, by the way, they're the number one ranked tag team. And like
They're-
in my head, I'm going, like, I know that it's because they're winning a bunch of matches on Dark and Elevation every week. But me then transforming and going, okay, if I was a casual person watching this or someone just tuning in, maybe I'm even more of a hardcore fan, but I'm just tuning in. You're not giving me any reason why these guys are ranked number one. And like, it seems like sometimes it feels like these number one ranked competitors come out of nowhere because I don't have time to watch Dark and Elevation every week.
Mhm. So you're saying they're not giving more of an umph towards the ranking system, so it means
It's just a thing.
no, I
which
get it.
which when they first started, I was like, yeah, this is like kind of a cool thing, and I remember saying like within a year or two, it's just gonna be a thing,
Mhm.
and they they use it to propel who they want to propel. If they know you are gonna be the next person, then you're gonna be on Dark and Elevation, winning a bunch of matches, so they can categorize you as the number one ranked person because they don't do number one contenders matches that often.
What do you think about?
It's just a plot device.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But is there anybody that, like, for example, we didn't really get a chance to talk about the Sammy Guevara situation. I I didn't really think that Scorpio Sky really is a
Yeah,
top
what a
tier.
random, what a fuck, like,
But listen, but listen. Scorpio Sky, I don't really see him as a top tier guy, but I haven't been watching him that much. Especially like, for example, what you just said with the rankings, he's been undefeated. I have barely seen him on TV. How is he undefeated? He just through Dark, because that's the only time I've seen him on Dark or Elevation.
so I like Scorpio Sky as a mid-level guy. I don't know that he'll ever be more than that.
Well, they're making me believe that he is a TNT champion. I'm like,
absolutely,
okay, I get
absolutely.
it. He's a
So there's this weird discrepancy that is happening here that I think is a good discrepancy for them to play into because of the ranking system, but I don't feel like they're playing in. They mentioned it once, and then I don't think that they are making it very clear to the audience. So Scorpio Sky is undefeated in singles matches.
Yeah.
He has lost a bunch of tag matches with Ethan Page.
Yeah.
Almost every single one of them in terms of Dynamite pay-per-view or whatever. So when they came out of nowhere and they were like, yeah, he's been undefeated in singles matches for over a year, I was like, what? In my head, I was like, there's no way, because every time I've seen him, he was losing to the Inner Circle, or he was losing to Sting and Darby Allin in tag matches and stuff, which is fine. But like, it was again another one of those instances where like they legit were just like, maybe somebody didn't realize it, and and someone was like, oh wait, this guy's been undefeated for over a year in singles matches, so let's give him the championship. And also because they clearly didn't want to do when they announced that whole thing, I was like, oh, Scorpio Sky's taking the title, because Wardlow is becoming this big face, and you can't put him against Sammy, because if you put him against Sammy, the audience is probably gonna boo Wardlow. Like, you don't want to turn either one of those guys.
I guess so. I don't know. I have no problem with doing a respectful face versus face match. Like with,
But I don't. Yeah, but
like
but
Dante Martin
Wardlow,
versus Page was fine.
right? But Wardlow isn't that kind of wrestler. He doesn't have the, oh,
Yeah.
we're great, let's shake hands and have a great match. He is like,
Well,
I'm gonna powerbomb you, and then I'm
Well-
gonna powerbomb you again.
but that's what I'm saying though. It's not something they couldn't just establish in that. Like he could be, that match could have been something where they show a new leaf from Wardlow and be like, he is a legitimate, his own person now. I agree. I didn't really think they would do that, but I'm like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. What they did makes sense, and the fact that you were like, yeah, they're gonna do this, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But I was like, I could see them doing it both ways.
Yeah,
It's more convoluted and weird to do it the way that I said with Wardlow versus Sammy Guevara and be like a very respectful match between
Yep.
the two of them.
I
but
think, yeah, even if you do a highly respectable match, you still run the risk of the audience
yeah, no, I get
deciding
you.
to turn on someone,
But you're better off,
and they didn't want to have the
Yeah.
audience decide to turn on Wardlow.
You're better off sticking with, and then it also worked for the fact that, for MJF to come in and fuck everything up for him.
Yeah.
Because then the bad guys can go, yeah, I won fair and square. It was like, but you didn't, and you know
Yeah.
you didn't, but he's a heel anyway. So
Yeah, I
whatever.
think like I said, I think the reason that happened was because they did not want to risk the possibility of the audience turning on Wardlow.
Can we talk about the redundancy of Sammy Guevara? Because you love him.
What do you mean the redundancy?
The whole reason he lost that match was because of something stupid he did.
Mhm.
Essentially, their whole basis behind him losing the match was he's gonna do a table spot outside the ring. Don't know why you need to do that, but like it's almost like you look at the person and you go, "This guy's great. He's so smart. He's so talented." And you go, "I think he's so smart and so talented. I can't tell anymore when the way they do stuff like that, where it's just like, oh, Sammy's gonna put him on a table outside the ring and then try to put him through it. Like, why wouldn't you just beat him in the ring? Like, I didn't understand that. It was like, why? There was no point where this is a grudge match to be like, this needs to get crazy. You know what I mean?
Yep. So I think, A, I agree with you. B, I think there is coming a point where they're doing that timekeeper's table and they're like doing stuff with it, and I'm like, this should be a disqualification, but
Yeah.
they don't want to do that because they want to
It's not so
have
much
clean
the
finishes.
aspect of it disqualifying someone, but it's more so the fact of Sammy. Come on, man. Like,
So I think that there is. So here's the way I'm viewing it right now, and my opinion can change.
go for it.
Right now I'm viewing it as
Shoot your shot.
if they play this right, this could turn into a long-term story with Sammy.
Okay.
Because remember, Sammy came out the next week or 2 weeks later or whatever it was, and it was
Apologizing.
this week.
Yeah.
And he said that
I'd love to talk. I want to talk about that as well.
he came out and he said something along the lines of like, when I come out, I'm giving the audience my all, and he literally said, I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna wrestle, and you guys are gonna see some crazy shit you've never like, some crazy shit, blah blah blah. So like, I think if they want to, they could play it off where every time he goes and tries to do some crazy shit, he loses his match.
Okay.
Specifically because they're always on commentary, constantly. Maybe in WWE more than in AEW, because they do more top rope stuff. But there's always that adage where they're always like, "Oh, he's looking for a big move," and if he hits it, they're like, "The high risk paid off," and if he misses, they're like, "That's the high risk of going up." And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like that's so commonplace now that like if they wanted to, they could turn it into a whole story where every time Sammy tries to do some crazy risk, he loses, and so the risk is not paying off, and then you can have Sammy like slowly lose confidence in himself, or slowly like you'll see him go for a big risky move and then he won't do it. He'll back down. The audience will then boo because he's backing down, and you could eventually build it towards a Sammy heel turn if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a potential of a really good story there.
Yeah.
There's also the potential of him hooking up with some other high flyers in the future.
Oh.
Like maybe he gets like this keeps happening, and so then when you're done with the whole Darby, Sting, and the Hardys storyline, you're done with that, right? Then he starts working with the Hardys because he idolizes Jeff because of the risks, and Jeff is now like Jeff and Matt are like his, like teaching him when to take the appropriate risks and when to whatever, you know what I mean? Like, and then you keep Sammy face because he's working with them, but then you have like a new trio that you could like work up towards.
Or even like do a thing even between. I could see them even doing like Sammy versus Jeff and being like a thing of like, why can't I beat Jeff because of the way he does his moves?
Yeah.
Or
so
whatever.
like me as a writer and as a story creator, I see that there is like so much potential in this. Like, he lost because he took this big risk. You can pay it off by having him, but what you have to do is have him actively choose to take big risks. And when he chooses to do that, it is the reason why he loses. And then there are so many different directions you could go with that story.
Can I ask you something? And pardon my French, but they fuck on that belt? Did they fuck on that belt?
That's what he hints at.
They is he coming on that belt?
Maybe.
What's going on with that one?
I thought it was a really good
it was very
slam.
silly. It was very Attitude Era-esque.
Yeah.
Kind of setup, but I was like, "Oh, what does that mean?" Someone should draw a picture or show me something that would involve that.
Someone leak a video, please.
Someone just, maybe get like the never mind, don't worry about it. So yeah, that has been
Anyway, yes. Because they were talking about how I see where you're coming from. I also see that there's story potential in it. Are they going to go down that route? I have no idea.
They got to do something with that because that's just smart. Because I was like, I ended up watching the match. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Why would he fucking do that?
Yeah, but I could see it turning into like he's a younger wrestler and he gets like lost in the moment and the fans are cheering him and he just wants the fans to cheer him and he's doing crazy shit like his idols, like the Hardy Boys, and like have it keep not paying off. Like make it a story. Yeah. Are they going to? I don't know.
So we still have the first off, real quick. I don't want to get too far into it. Owen Hart Eliminator or whatever tournament. What's your prediction?
When's that tournament start?
It's Wednesday.
This Wednesday?
Yeah.
Have they even announced who's in it? Did I miss that?
The male one or the female one?
Both.
The female one they did. Bunny versus a random.
No, I meant like, have they announced like these are all of the competitors?
No, they just said that's the first match.
Okay.
Who do you think it is? That's what I was trying to get at.
There's so many possibilities.
I'm going for what you said.
Athena?
Yeah, Athena, who seems like a great fucking catch.
Could be Athena. Could be Mia Yim.
So that was the
be-
thing. I went with Mia Yim, and then I was like, oh wait, no, Kibble said Athena. That'd be perfect. Plus the Jade thing. I was like, I think the fact that she's said something that I think they want to get people excited for it. Like the fact that she'd be like, those two would be good against each other. To be like, and I'm also already going to be talking to Tony or whatever. I'm just gonna start some shit. You know what I mean? Like Athena tweeting at Jade Cargill to be like, yeah, maybe I'll take that from you. But to be like, does this mean we should just keep watching and wait for her to show up? Like that's what I
Yeah.
mean. Like it's definitely builds up. Like I'm excited now. I'm like, oh, who is it gonna be?
Could be Athena. Could be Mia Yim.
I'd love Mia Yim as well, but I'm like, I'm thinking it's Athena. Just on what you've said though.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that it's probably not Kairi Sane, but she looks to be out of her WWE non-compete clause because she wrestled in Japan, I think, this past weekend.
Yeah.
So maybe, I mean,
We don't
she's
know.
a possibility.
We'll find out.
More than likely,
Wednesday.
it's not her.
Yeah, but we'll find out.
Maybe
I mean,
it's Paige Van Zant. Well, no, because she wouldn't be a. That wouldn't
She's
count
already
because we know she
signed, yeah.
signed. You're right.
fuck that bitch.
Maybe it's Alexa Bliss. Maybe
What?
I don't know. I'm just throwing names
When
out.
was the last time she wrestled? I love how
Saudi
I looked
Arabia.
at I looked at my watch. Like, when was the last time she wrestled? But how
Saudi
many-
Arabia.
I mean, like how many days?
Whenever Saudi Arabia was.
Okay.
About a
We
month
got
ago.
way off track. But I didn't want to talk too much about the whole who the woman in the match this week is going to be. But
Yep, it's probably one of those two.
what are we at?
We're at 46,
Oh, we're at 46. I thought we were at an hour.
46,
Okay.
45.
Well, let's talk about. Hold on. New segue. So
We're so good at segues.
shut up. I would know of all people how good we are at segues. I'm sure you don't want to hear you going to saying that you have to go take a piss or something like that.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
So on Friday, Triple H had an interview sneak peek thing come out about where he's been since September, August.
Yep.
And what was it called? No, it was some kind of pneumonia,
It
right?
was called Talk with Trips.
It wasn't called Talk with Trips. I figured you're gonna bring this back. You fucking son of a bitch. It was something pneumonia,
Yeah, something like that.
and he said the way he explained it was like he almost died.
He legit almost died.
Yeah.
Did you like see
Yeah.
the thing where he was saying that the amount of
His
was
heart,
it the amount
right?
of oxygen that his heart was pushing out when he went in was at between 60 and 50%.
Yeah.
They said by the time, and they said immediately go to the hospital so they could have a procedure done or whatever. He got to the hospital. And I
what,
think when they did the
12?
procedure, it was like I was like, holy shit, this guy was really
Yeah.
fucking close to dying.
We almost lost Triple H. Which
Like I
is
didn't realize it was
crazy.
that
Yeah.
close.
So that's just it's such a fucking heartbreaking thing. What do you think this means though? What do you think he's gonna?
I think he
Are we just never gonna see him again?
he's never gonna wrestle again. I can tell
well,
you
yeah,
that
I know
much.
that, but
Will he never take an on-air role? I don't know. To be honest, I'd be surprised if he ever takes an on-air role again.
I hope so. I hope that we see him in some kind of capacity.
I think we will. I think we will see him again. And let me put it this way: I think he will be on TV again at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if he'll ever be in a in a frequent television role again. Like, will he appear on TV again? Yeah, I believe he will. Will he take like will he ever show up and be like, I'm the general manager and I'm going to be on the show every week type thing? Probably not.
That's upsetting. That's really upsetting. Yeah, I mean, like I've said before on the podcast, the three trifectas. One is not willing to really wrestle Kevin Owens. The other one is doing whatever fucking movies he's doing, and now the other one we know won't ever wrestle again, which is kind of just upsetting. It's very sad. It's very sad to think that that is the case, because he was really good, and I mean, even if he can go, like, I would love to see him go back to NXT because I think he was doing good stuff.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see him take on more of that behind the scenes role like he did with NXT. It'd be cool to have him take NXT back. Don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I know. That's what's upsetting about it. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Even if he did take NXT back, it would still. I mean,
At this
maybe
point,
he could.
he'd just probably be better off dead. No, I'm kidding.
Whoa.
I don't mean like I want him dead. I mean like they fucking ruined everything he had. What's the
Yep.
point anymore?
Yep.
Well, really one of the best, and it's a shame that we're not going to see him wrestle ever again. They said his last match was a house show, a dark match.
Oh.
He teamed up with Shinsuke Nakamura against, I don't know, 2 people. I don't fucking remember. But his last on TV match was, I don't remember.
His last on TV match. The match with Roman Reigns, WrestleMania, that was pretty recent.
I think there's one after that though.
Right. I'm trying to remember if this Saudi Arabia match was before. Oh, that was probably after.
It's almost as bad as Trips when you say Saudi Arabia. I'm like, why? Why is that a thing? It's redundant.
It was the terrible match.
Rhetorical.
It was the terrible DX versus Brothers of Destruction match.
That might have been, yeah,
That might have been his last TV match.
maybe. I know it's just a random match, but I don't know. It's a shame. You know what the good part is? We are going to AEW Dynamite April 27th at the Liacora Center in beautiful Pennsylvania. We don't know the match card because no one ever knows the match card until that couple weeks or a couple days before. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to be excited because we're in the front row. You can see our ugly mugs, possibly on television, possibly during Adam Cole Bebe's entrance. Because he has to get up to the camera. Okay.
No, I got
So
it.
I'm gonna go back now.
No, I got it.
It's a lot easier to do that than edit it in.
I don't know. I don't know if this is. I just Googled it really quick. So I've not verified if this is
It
correct.
stands
or
for
not.
Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Yes.
Oh, is that not what you were looking up?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It says his last untelevised match was in Tokyo 2019. His last televised match was June 2019 against Randy Orton in Saudi Arabia. I don't feel like that's true. What is this?
That's an ad.
No, it's an ad.
So are the 3 daughters? Is it Hunter, Hearst, and Helmsley, or is it different names?
I'd like to think that it's
Because
Hunter
they're
Hearst and
triple
Helmsley.
hers, so they're triple H's. It's fucking heartbreaking, dude. It's almost like you go, oh, I want to see him wrestle again. Oh yeah, you want to see him die? Because that's the only way he's gonna wrestle again.
Mm-hmm.
So guess you can't get that. And it's abrupt too. It's upsetting.
Here's a news article that's listed as 10 final matches of Triple H's career ranked worst to best.
And what's the number one?
I don't quite understand what
Yeah, that was a bit of a mouthful you had right there.
what. Okay, number 10 is versus Randy Orton on Raw in January of 2021.
Okay.
9 is DX versus Brothers of Destruction at Crown Jewel.
Crown Jewel.
Triple H versus The Undertaker, Super Showdown 2018. Oh, it's the. Well, no. See, here's another Randy Orton.
Super Show 2019.
Yeah, Andrew's confused.
Hey, can I ask you a question? I don't mean to pivot to somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not bitter at all, but we're going to talk about the fucking AEW traitor.
Triple H versus Seth Rollins, WrestleMania 33 is number 1. Sorry, go ahead.
Can we
Traitor?
talk about Mr. American Dream? Fucking go
Do you know
fuck
he's
yourself.
a traitor? What if he's not a traitor?
He's gonna listen. At this point, I'm tired of hearing about it. Just fucking have him show up on Raw, because that's what's gonna happen. I don't give a fuck anymore.
I love the meme that was like, "Oh, you waited the whole show to see if Cody came up. Sucks to be you."
Yeah. It's not even that. Like I'm gonna find out the next night and go, oh, he showed up finally. Good. Like Veer. What did I send you the other day? Hold on. Can I? They're doing a great job, by the way.
Veer's been coming since
Wait,
October.
Hold on. He's been coming. His balls must be drained. I'm sorry.
Did
I'm
you
starting
ever?
Again.
Yeah, I saw this. I saw this thing where where somebody was like, "What if he shows up on Raw and the next week they do a draft? He gets drafted to SmackDown."
Who, Cody Rhodes or
No Veer.
That's fucking stupid.
He's been coming to
I
Raw
hate you.
for months. He gets immediately drafted to SmackDown.
I hate you for that. God damn it! Why can't I find this goddamn thing I said?
Veer is coming.
I told you Veer is coming. Hold on.
I
Hold
told
on.
you
Oh, here
Veer
we
is
go, here we
coming.
go. 161 days. If he shows up on that April 4th show, it'll be 161 days till he actually fucking shows up.
You know, maybe it's because he keeps coming too late.
Fucking ridiculous.
Oh, right. Because then I was like, what if it's because he keeps showing up at the arena too late, so they have to push it back a week?
Yeah, and you said he keeps showing up late, which I don't get how you do that multiple times.
For half a year.
Unless, like, because in case that the TSA are still racist nowadays, they're just giving him a screening and not letting him get through the TSA. And they go, sir, you've been selected.
Maybe that's why.
Sir, you've been selected for... If that's the point, it's been 161 days, get a different flight. Get an earlier flight. So you're there the whole day.
Quit your job.
I'm ready. Maybe one of the days he got there and then fell asleep and then woke up and was like, oh my God, it's 11 o'clock.
Why hasn't he been fired? I can't not show up for work 166
Yes.
days and not get fired.
It's almost like his work is telling him, not yet. The thing that blew me away was that when I heard that the Liv Morgan documentary, where it was a constant scene of her show up, they tell her, we don't have anything for you, she goes back home. This is like, what? How do you go, oh, we don't have anything for you today? It's not a fucking CVS. It's a fucking television show. It's not a goddamn
CVS.
It's not a goddamn dairy farm where I don't have my shipment in yet. Sorry, can't help you. It's a fucking TV show. Okay?
He says.
Sorry, we're all out of that. We're all out of fucks to give. Go back home. Head back to your hotel. Sorry, Liv. By the way, Liv's just vocally annoying after watching her Untitled Show.
Oh, yeah.
Very loud. She seems like the perfect woman who had drank too much and is just saying stuff randomly, and you're like, why is she so loud?
Mm-hmm.
She's louder than the music. It's a guy at a party talking about her behind her back.
Yeah.
Anyway, Veer hasn't shown up yet.
Veer hasn't shown up.
April 4th.
Send
April
Veer.
4th. Maybe same time as Cody Rhodes. We don't know. We'll never
Listen,
know.
Veer shows up, I'm going to send Hook.
That's
Hook will take him
that's
out.
a different show.
No, Hook will take him out.
You see Danhausen tried to
Tried to curse him. It didn't work.
yeah, didn't work.
I don't understand why Danhausen came out in the first place, but
Yeah. Did you see the bit about I think it was on BTE where they did a court case, and it was smart Mark Sterling versus the Dark Order, and they go, we have a defense, and the judge was like, what's your defense? And they brought Hook over, and he goes, and John Silver's just like, all right. He's like, and then Mark's like, are you serious? Are you serious right now? He didn't even say anything. Or Hook walked over and offered the judge a chip, and then the judge was like, all right. He's like, I rule in case of these guys, because it was something like during a dark match, John Silver did something to Mark, and he's like said he broke his neck, and it was between like I think it was the Anna Jay versus Jade. And he did something in the maybe it wasn't a dark match, it was just a Rampage match, but John Silver did something to him, and he was just like, it's all your fault that I'm injured. And he's like, oh, we have the perfect case, Your Honor. And he just brings Hook over, and he just gives him a chip, and the judge is like, okay, yeah. He's like, hey.
I think one of my favorite things is the when they had the Casino Battle Royale, and Brandon Cutler was filming it ringside.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, Evil Uno, get me on AEW games. I want to play Elden Ring.
Yeah, and he goes, Elden Ring is good.
Elden Ring is good. You should play it.
Yeah. I do like the Trent and Danhausen during that match. Where he's like, hey, yeah. Danhausen. And then like Danhausen's like not even paying attention. He's like,
yeah. And Danhausen is like, stop filming me. You're distracting me from this wonderful match.
Yeah. Speaking of which, can we talk about this?
Sure.
How much time we got left?
We just hit the 1 hour mark.
Ooh, then we can finish it up with the thought that we are going to AEW Live April 27th in the Liacouras Center. Get your tickets now. Well, don't get your tickets now. We already got our tickets is our point that we're trying to make, but we're going to be there April 27th on a Wednesday. And I'm sure we'll watch some other stuff from other shows that are pre-recorded. AEW Dynamite Wednesday on TBS. We won't have to worry about that because we'll be there.
There.
Get your tickets. What are you, a pussy?
Pussy.
Why are you doing this? It's not even my voice.
Voice.
And also, today, Kibbles had set. Hold on. Wait, I gotta send it back. Let me send it back here. Kibbles had mentioned that the Pandora Box Toys and Collectibles on May 15th. Fuck. I fucked up. Hold on. On May 15th, we'll have Danhausen available for autographs and signing. That's right. The very good, very evil. Kibbles, what's wrong? The very good, very evil, very nice, very... Fuck, I fucked it up again. The very nice, very evil Danhausen will be at Pandora Toys and Collectibles in Lafayette, New Jersey. 191 Route 15 in Lafayette, New Jersey. Sunday, May 15th, 11 a.m., obviously, to 2 p.m. Come get your tickets today. Maybe he'll take one of your teeth. We don't know. I'm definitely going. That's a guaranteed thing. I'm going to probably film it. Pookie the Wolf at YouTube. You go see it and stuff. Okay, bye.
I couldn't stop laughing when you went past it and you're like, I fucked up.
Yeah, I was like, fuck.
For some reason, that just got me. I couldn't stop laughing.
Well, it works. It worked. So, yeah. So, we have 3 big things.
Yep.
In the next couple of months.
Next time we meet up, we'll talk about WrestleMania.
Oh, shit, that's right.
That's next weekend.
Wait. What's the date?
2nd and 3rd, April.
2nd and 3rd.
Next weekend.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, wait. Oh, yeah, because it's already going to be over. Sunday is the 4th, right?
Sunday's the 3rd. Well, if we were, yeah. April 1st is Friday.
Wait, what days are WrestleMania on? Friday and
Saturday.
Saturday and Sunday.
Correct.
You got me fucked up. So wait, so when's the next time we're gonna record? Because
I don't know.
That would mean that we're going to record mid through WrestleMania, the two night event, WrestleMania 30. Her Kibbles, help me out.
I don't know. I think it's 6.
36? What WrestleMania?
I don't know. Let
No,
me look.
38. No, not 38. Hold on one moment. Please hold. Please hold one moment as I get my sheet.
Yeah, 38. You're right.
WrestleMania 38, starring Stone Cold, I think, and maybe Cody Rhodes the next night. We're not sure for sure, but it's a 2-night event. Get your tickets now in the AT&T Stadium in Austin, in somewhere in Texas. Don't know, never been there, only once, and it was for a layover. Get your tickets now. That was weird. That's a totally different guy, not me.
Yeah, how come you didn't say it was headlined by Lesnar versus Reigns?
Headlined by Red. Hold one moment. Okay. Go ahead. What were we saying?
Night 2 is headlined by Roman Reigns versus
Night
Brock Lesnar.
2 is?
Yeah. Night 1 is
What's the headline for that?
Charlotte versus Ronda.
One moment. Night 1 main eventing is Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey. And the second night, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, featuring Paul Heyman somewhere in there. And I'm sure the Usos will find out on that night. Watch it or be left out. Becky Lynch is in there somewhere against Bianca Belair on the first night, according to my correspondence here, which is not Kibbles. And I'm not even Pookie because I'm someone else. Do you? Okay.
Well, if it's not me, I didn't want to talk in that thing.
I don't want to talk
I didn't want to talk in the echo if it's not supposed to be me.
We are right now speaking through Roman Reigns' asshole. That's why there's such an echo. Because like I'm speaking into his butthole. And he opens his mouth. So it comes through his mouth. It's the echo.
It's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway.
No, it's just I use him as a human megaphone. Hey, Kibbles. Acknowledge me. Acknowledge me. Acknowledge me. All right, I think that's it. I think we can end it there.
I don't want to.
Why not? We gonna talk more?
No, I meant I don't want to acknowledge you.
I just thought that was perfect to say. Well, maybe we'll do more of those bits.
Tiny bits?
Yeah, little bits.
Easter bits?
Little bits. Are you doing a Rick and Morty? Little bits.
Little bits.
That's a bit from Little Bits.
Little big bits.
All right, real quick. It's 3 p.m. I'll bring it up. Do you know the match card by heart for WrestleMania?
Night 1 has the Becky. Night 1 has the 2 single women's title matches. Night 2 has the women's tag title match. Night 2 has the Johnny Knoxville match and the Austin Theory match. It also has Reigns and Lesnar. It has AJ and Edge. Night 1 has the McIntyre match. The Night 1 is also the Stone Cold thing, the Kevin Owens show.
Hey,
I think that's almost everything.
Hey, asshole. Yes is just fine. All I said was, do you know?
Well, you were looking it up, so I was trying to see if I could get it all right.
Save time, yeah.
Just trying to get it all right.
I still hold on. So Arlington, Texas. By the way, I'm not gonna do the announcing voice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they have predictions on here. Oh no, they don't. It's just I thought I saw the C next to the name. I'm like, oh, that's who
That's
the champion is.
champion.
Yeah, I know that now. I'm dumb. So Becky Lynch. Why'd you just do that with you just did a head nod. Okay, Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair.
Oh, are we predicting?
Yeah, I want your predictions.
Bianca.
Okay. Logan Paul, The Miz versus the Mysterios.
Logan Paul and Miz.
You're gross. Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin. Oh,
How many
they're
times
still doing this?
How many times does a celebrity come in at WrestleMania and lose the match?
arguably very much hated. I
I'm
hate
just
him.
saying.
Maybe it's just me. I hate him.
I'm just saying.
But that's like the heel. Aren't they the heels?
They are. But how many times does the person come in and the celebrity
Isn't
come
this
in
his
and
second
lose?
time at WrestleMania?
Yes. First match, though.
Who do you... Oh, no, he didn't. Turn that shit off. So, Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin.
McIntyre.
They're still doing this. This is...
Yep.
Okay. Didn't know this was a thing, but the Usos versus Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura.
The Usos.
Of course. Why would they take it away from him? Why do anything interesting? Edge versus AJ Styles.
They moved that to night one? Or are you just looking at a list of...
No, that's day one, it says.
Oh, that got changed. That was originally on...
Edge versus
two.
AJ Styles you're talking about?
Yeah. That was originally on night two. I'm going to go with Edge.
Okay. Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey.
Ronda.
And then it says Stone Cold appears on the KO show hosted by Kevin Owens.
Stone Cold.
Do you think they'll do something
Does
crazy?
a stunner.
Do you think they'll do something crazy like him talk to him on the first night and then him fight him on the second night?
Maybe.
We need to get people to watch the second night.
I've legit heard that as a prediction from people.
Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. You said what? Roman?
Yeah, Roman.
Okay. The women's tag team championship.
The champions will retain because I don't even remember who the fuck is in that match.
Naomi and Sasha, Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, and then Shayna Baszler and Natalya.
Oh. I'm going to go Naomi and Charlotte. Or, I'm sorry, Naomi and Sasha. Sorry.
Where the
Naomi and Sasha
where the
Banks.
fuck do you see Charlotte at? Pat McAfee versus Austin
I
Theory.
see her in my dreams. Pat McAfee.
Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville.
Knoxville.
Yeah, I don't see how he's not gonna win.
Although it's also a hardcore match, so
Sami Zayn. I mean, is it really a hardcore match?
Yes, I'm afraid.
Hardcore matches anymore?
I'm afraid that Knox is gonna do something stupid, really stupid.
Well, the concept of the concept that they go, hey, they shoot a promo saying Sami Zayn is going to show Johnny Knoxville pain like he's never seen before. I'm sorry. How can you do that? You're going for the least likely thing you're going to be able to show him. The shit he's been through, I doubt he'll be able to surprise him in any way as far as pain.
You're right.
He had a crocodile grab his nipple. Bite down hard.
It was crazy.
All right, the tag team titles for Raw. The three team. Randy. By the way, that was another thing I saw on Raw when I watched it. So fucking boring.
I think I'm gonna go Randy and Riddle.
Okay, and then it says predictions, which is Finn Balor versus Damien Priest and Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes.
Oh, those are predictions of matches that will happen but have not been announced. But there's kind of potential.
How many more weeks they have?
One.
So
there's been a lot of debate about will Seth Rollins. So Seth Rollins ended the night by saying Raw is not going to start next week without him having his thing. So people are like, oh, maybe Cody's going to show up and it'll be the first segment on Raw next week. There's also people.
Or maybe, Seth Rollins. Well, it'll just be some more smoke and mirrors for Seth Rollins.
You're crazy.
See what I did there?
I did see what you did there.
Hate it. Hate the song.
The other thing is that people were saying maybe he won't know who his opponent is. They'll just say he's going to have an opponent, so then Cody will be like the surprise at Mania.
I think that's the best idea.
I
think that's the best
we'll
idea to have him show up on the night of.
Yeah.
Even if it's like the first night. I don't give a fuck. But yeah, so I think we could wrap it up there.
Yeah.
I felt good about this one. I
Feel
feel
good.
like we're really hitting our stride, just
Mhm.
having fun with it, just
Mhm,
kind of
mhm.
sharing our opinions. I feel like you're the no nonsense one, and I'm the silly one.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Some might say.
Yeah. And don't forget, Kibbles and Pookie are going to AEW Dynamite April 27th in the Liacouras Center. As you can see, I don't have a match card once again, but we're going to be there we'll probably be on TV for Dynamite and Rampage and maybe even a Dark episode. We're not sure. We'll find out then, and we'll keep you posted. We have a whole nother month till then, exactly a month from today. Thank you, and have a lovely night. Kibbles, you want to end anything?
Bye.
Okay. You know what? I'm excited to see who else they're gonna bring in. As far as I don't
in
get.
the Hall of Fame class.
What was it last year? They had the Bella twins. Maybe because I completely missed that boat of them wrestling.
I mean,
like
the Hall of
head,
Fame is also filled with. Their Hall of Fame is also filled with people who maybe.
Drew Carey?
Yeah.
What? No, he deserves to be there.
Who maybe wouldn't